Ladies and gentlemen, the St. Michael's College Athletic Hall of Fame is pleased to welcome, from the class of 1988, Sean Foley. Thank you.
So I'd like to begin this evening by thanking Dr. Richard Plum, President of the College, Executive Director of Athletics, Matt Leakins, Josh Kessler, and Chris. So when I learned, I also want to thank my youngest son and my wife for making the trip and for putting up with me for general purpose. So when I learned that I was being inducted into the Hall of Fame, it was a very humbling experience. It was kind of a shocking phone call, to be quite frank. I was overwhelmed with gratitude. So the first thing I did was I started calling old teammates to thank them, right? It's hockey is we all know it's a team sport, right? And you're not successful if you're not surrounded by other great players. So one of the first people I called was Mike Murphy, who we all know as Little Murph. And I called him and thanked him. He said, stop calling people and stop thanking people. He said, you can thank them when you get to the induction. You earned it. You don't have to call everyone, so knock it off. Now, for you guys that don't know Little Murph, he's pound for pound one of the toughest, strongest human beings on the planet. I didn't want to be in his doghouse, so I stopped calling people. So thank you, boys, for coming up and for everything. So I was listening to the announcement. I did transfer in from Plattsburgh. Things didn't work out there. I was looking for a new school. It was a spring of '85, down in the Boston Garden, watching Eastern Mass high school championships. Someone introduced me to Chris Luca, who would later become line mate, roommate, lifelong friend. He had just finished his freshman year up to college, St. Mike's, and he said, hey, it's really great up there. You should come up and visit. You'd really like it up there. Okay, so a month later, up I came. He introduced me to Mike Pileggi, Paul Nossabelli, Peter Noonan, and Billy Skinner. We went to a social function in Alumni Hall, and we ate guava and we really liked that. It became readily apparent that it was going to be a great fit, so I transferred. So as a sophomore, one of the first things I remember was our off-ice workouts in Dryland and campus practice. So what really struck me was the way the senior class guys, upperclassmen, took care of the sophomore and freshmen. They were very welcoming. It was a really, really welcoming bunch. The captains at the time were Teddy Manning, Matt Diggins, and Patty Williams. And they were great leaders, and they made sure everyone was included no matter what we did. We spent a ton of time in their house in the 300s that year. It was a great time. And they set a great example. So junior year, we had a tough start, right? We had a brutal first half. We rebounded in the second half. It was kind of tough. Senior year started off with Lou implementing, for the first time, the most robust off-season dryland training program we ever went through. And I really believe that set the tone for our conditioning, and it really paid off in the win-loss column. We were in tremendous shape. We really were. We definitely had a good team, but we weren't overloaded with talent, right? But we were a team. And what I mean by that is we cared for each other. We liked each other. We stood up for each other. We had each other's backs, and that still goes on to this day. And now we love each other. It's something you guys are going to get to experience. It's an incredible thing. And you know, Luca was a great captain, and Paul Nossabelli had a crucial leadership role. And if there were any discrepancies or discussions or disagreements, We settled it with the secret ballot. I'll tell you guys about that later. We also wanted to support all the other teams at St. Mike's. We tried to go to as many games for the other teams as we could. I personally had some friends on the basketball team. And I was crucial in helping them get a new basketball court. As far as our line went, I had 2 Hall of Fame wings. Brian Mulady, which we called Little Mo, because he had Big Mo, his good brother Mike, and Luca, Chris Luca, we call him Luke's, right? So Luke's was a big, strong forward, could score in the clutch, was very reliable, and he was a power forward. Little Mo could score, had an unbelievably accurate shot, and could score from almost anywhere. But the lasting image I have of Little Mo is standing in front of the opposing goalie's net, fighting defensemen twice his size. He might have weighed like 148 pounds. And he would carve his initials in those kids. He won most of those battles. This tribute would not be complete without acknowledging and thanking Lou Damasi and Zach Ludovic. It would take hours. It would take hours to sit here and list all the things they did for us on the playing surface, ice, locker room, and certainly outside of that venue. Lou was nice enough to support me all the way through school, and he even arranged the senior year second half up at North Campus for me. But honestly, it's not about just all the stuff they did while we were in school. It was all the support they gave us years after we left the campus. Zaf, I remember calling Zaf when I was in the police academy, and I had hurt my knee, and I couldn't tap out. I was in the academy, and Zaf gave me some treatment remedies to keep it going so I didn't lose my spot. Lou has supported us in countless ways. He supported my son when we played Lumberjacks for the junior team up here, and he's been, along with my team, he's very supportive over the last 3 years and some medical struggles I've been going through. So again, thank you both. I mean it from the bottom of my heart. Lastly, I want to finish with, I know Mrs. Murphy, I'm a little over, but I'm going fast. She told me you better be 5 minutes. I would like to finish with a quick story about the 5-0 game down in Rhode Island. So we've scheduled to play Waddy Williams in the invitational tournament. So on the way out of campus, we realized we're out of sticks. So we stopped, Lou pulled the bus over at Mills and Grid. We could all buy a few extra hockey sticks for the tournament. We were playing. So we get down there, we win Friday night, post game, but we win. So Saturday we're scheduled to play in the championship game Saturday night. So we're in the locker room, and I'm, big prepping your stick. It's like your baby, you tape them in, you powder them in, everything. So at the time, Lou's second oldest son, Andy Damasi, was traveling with the team. I think he was 5 years old. And I finished my stick, and I said, Andy, take this. He takes it, I go, how is it? Is it ready? He smacks it on the floor. It's ready. I go, okay, how many goals does it have in it? He goes, 5. I go, whoa, wow, that's a lot of goals. Are you sure? Check again. He goes, 5. We go out to play the championship game. Luke's and Mo fed me the puck all night long. Sure enough, I got 5 goals and we won the championship. Lou, you should have brought him on more room. Again, thank you very much for the bottom of my heart.